Welcome to my home. Hi, I'm Cindy Merritt, and I'm your local real estate partner. And just like you, I live, work, and play in the Richmond, Virginia area and all around our wonderful surrounding counties. Today we are down in Petersburg at the Pamplin Historical Park and National Civil War Museum. And this is Colin Romanek. And who is this?
This is Robert Pamplin Jr., Dr. Pamplin as we know him. He is a philanthropist who has many causes that he supports, and of course he has a foundation that's in all different kinds of textile industries and media. So we're the nonprofit side of his efforts, mainly focused on education here and preservation.
So he's the benefactor for the park, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, wonderful. Now, it is your 25th anniversary, and you've got something very special going on Memorial Day, is that right?
That's correct. On May 26th and 7th, the 7th is the 27th is the Memorial Day, but we're going to have children's activities, everything from a scavenger hunt that everyone can take part in. We have a special exhibit that's going to be opening. A lot of never-before-seen artifacts. Some of it's going to also be telling the story of the past 25 years and the growth of the park and evolution of it, and also some items that have been unearthed here at the park. So you'll see some artifacts not only from before the Civil War, but in more recent memory as well, when they were doing a lot of the different construction here on site.
Okay, so Colin, we are here at Pick a Soldier, and this is the entrance to the museum portion, is that correct?
That's right. Our main exhibit here is The Duty Called Me Here. And when visitors come in, they get to select one of these 13 soldiers to follow through. So not only are you seeing the artifacts as you go through the galleries and learn about each of those and the different dioramas and vignettes that you're seeing, but you will follow the story of each of the soldiers and the one that you pick. So technically you could go through 13 different times and have 13 different stories told to you through our Orfeo device, which provides an audio tour but also provides images as you go through, which also works out in the park. So there's over 80 stops between the museum and out in the park to learn about these soldiers as you go through this gallery.
So this is actually following their individual experiences as you travel through, is that right?
That's right, taken from newspapers, articles, personal letters, diaries that we know about these folks, including Newton, who's African American, is what we call a USCT soldier, fought for the North. He actually writes a book out of the Briars, which we sell in the gift store. So some of these folks go on to great prominence, some of them didn't survive the war, so you find that out as well as you go through.
That's so amazing, and we're so fortunate to have all of that documented history through their own personal writings. Okay, Colin, we're inside the museum, and I'm actually seeing games and baseball and that kind of thing. So when the soldiers weren't fighting, they were playing?
Yes, they would play cards, were very popular, checkers, dominoes, believe it or not.
Okay.
And certainly baseball starts to become very prominent during the Civil War, and then certainly that's kind of the springboard for afterwards. And actually for our Memorial Day weekend on the 26th of May, we will have a period baseball game here that visitors can participate in.
Really?
We're also going to have a period dance class, so you can come in and learn about the Virginia Reel and the waltzes of that time. There's going to be a scavenger hunt and a lot of other activities for families to partake in.
Colin, can we go outside now and explore the grounds and see some of the things that are going to happen on Memorial Day weekend?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
All right.
Okay, Tim and Ethan, you are not dressed the same. Why is that?
Well, I'm portraying today a soldier that would have fought for the Confederacy, so I'm wearing a little bit different uniform than what Ethan is.
Okay, now I thought you were supposed to be in gray.
Well, gray is the typical color that you hear about, the blue and the gray, but it was often more of a brown color, which they called butternut, and that was largely because of a lot of the natural dyes that they were using for the materials.
Okay, all right, and is this your blanket to sleep with?
Yes, so this is my blanket roll. Often soldiers after a while would not like to carry a knapsack, so they would just keep their personal possessions rolled up inside their blanket roll and just throw it over their shoulder to make a lighter load for them to carry.
Gotcha, okay. And you have on the North.
That's right, the uniform of the Union, the Northern troops.
Okay, all right. And is this a year-round uniform?
Yes, which is very uncomfortable, as you might imagine. Most of the uniforms were made out of wool due to its durability, but they were wearing wool all year round.
In the summer?
In the summer as well.
So Tim, talk to me about what we have here. This is a typical meal, is that correct?
Yes, so this is a typical ration. Soldiers would usually be given 2 things for their food.
Okay.
This is the meat ration. And
that doesn't look like meat. What is that?
It's actually salt pork. So
oh, okay.
There's not much lean on there, most of it's fat.
Uh-huh.
And they're going to use all of this, of course. When they fry this up in the fire, most of it turns to grease. But they use this grease not only to eat their food with, but also to help cook their bread rations as well.
Oh, okay. All right. And what have you got?
Well, I've got 2 different types of rations here. What I've got in this one over here is your cornmeal, which is mostly what the Confederate soldiers are going to be getting a lot of.
Okay.
And they're supposed to make their cornbread with their cornmeal. They're being issued a lot of things that are supposed to stay good out on the march because they don't have refrigeration, so they need things that are going to last for a while.
Okay.
So that cornmeal, they're going to make little pancakes, fry it up in that salt pork grease called Johnny Cakes after Johnny Reb.
Oh, okay.
That's what those Confederates are eating.
Okay.
North and South, most of the Union soldiers, they're getting issued hardtack, which is...
That doesn't look very appetizing either. It looks like a big thick cracker.
That's what it is. It's a hard cracker. It's just wheat flour, a little bit of water. They steam press it, makes it hard as a rock. It's going to last a whole lot longer out on the march.
Okay, this thing right here looks like a big horse or a big reindeer or something. What is this and why am I wearing this sign?
So as you might imagine, in Civil War armies, one of their biggest challenges for officers was discipline. Your typical Civil War soldier was between 18 and 24 years old, which brought a lot of problems into the army.
Okay.
And, depending on whether that soldier was a troublemaker through gambling or through stealing, or maybe he can't keep up, as a straggler sign that you're wearing shows.
Oh, I'm a straggler. Okay. Yeah.
They had a very vague form of punishment. The term that they would use is the punishment is according to the nature of the offense. So that left a lot of leeway on how soldiers could be punished.
Oh, okay. All right.
One was to have to ride the punishment horse if you can't keep up with the unit.
So I would have to ride this thing?
You would have to sit up there for a certain amount of time, yes.
Well, that doesn't look very comfortable, does it?
Not at all.
Not at all. So basically, you don't want to be a straggler.
You don't want to be a straggler.
So, Tim, you're actually the educational director down here at Pamplin Historical Park, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, tell me a little bit about the history, why we're here, and I know we're getting ready to have the 25th anniversary.
Yes, we're really excited about our 25th anniversary. So the park began in 1994.
Okay.
And it mainly began as an effort to save the original Confederate earthworks that are just behind us here.
Okay.
It was important that those do not get developed or torn down. So the Pamplin family stepped in really quickly to be able to buy this land when it came up for sale.
Okay.
And developed the park from there. It's really grown in chapters, with the first building being our battlefield center, and then the Tudor Hall Plantation part of the park, and then the National Museum of the Civil War Soldier, which opened in 1999.
Okay, I was amazed how big this is down here. It's over 400 acres, isn't it?
Yeah, 424 acres.
That's amazing, and it's so nice that the Pamplin family is the benefactor of all this to save it for history and for posterity, for everybody to come see.
Yes, we've benefited greatly from their philanthropy.
That's wonderful. So you said it was to rescue the earthworks, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, tell me a little bit about those here.
So the earthworks that are running through our park were built by soldiers who belonged to General Samuel McGowan's brigade. They were South Carolinians.
Okay.
And when Petersburg was being threatened in the fall of 1864, they built these earthworks to protect the last 2 supply lines coming into Petersburg to supply the Confederate army, and something to fight behind.
Oh, so it's kind of like a bunker.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and it serves as also an obstacle to any attackers as well.
Okay. So Virginia is so steeped in history. This Memorial Day weekend, as you are honoring the soldiers that have fallen from the Civil War all the way up to today's wars, come on down to Pamplin Historical Park, make yourself at home. You'll be really glad you did.
Cindy Merritt is nationally recognized as a leader in the U.S. real estate market. Of the more than 35,000 realtors in Virginia, the American Institute of Real Estate Professionals consistently ranks Cindy in the top 10 best realtors in the state.
Make Yourself at Home is sponsored in part by Paul Adams, branch manager and nationally recognized senior loan officer with Prime Lending, a Plains Capital company. With over 400 mortgage options available, Paul Adams and his team work hard to uncover the key to each client's mortgage success.